Hello students, this is Priyanka and I welcome you all again for our today's session. I hope the test which you gave was easy as it has covered almost all the topics which we have discussed up till now. Soon I will be uploading the solution for the same with the detailed explanation for the answer which were expected. In the last session we have started with the topic types of CSS, from which internal type of CSS we have seen in details and we also saw different examples related to it. Now in today's session we will complete the remaining two types of CSS, and at the last we will summarize which type of CSS is used in which condition. So let us start with our today's session. So today we will only discuss about the types of CSS. That's it. So we have already seen there are total 3 types of CSS. So the first type is internal style sheet. Here I have mentioned that we have to use a style tag for internal type of style sheet. And second is inline style sheet, which we will see today in details. And in inline style sheet we have style attribute. And the third and the last type of CSS is external style sheet. Here in this type we maintain a separate CSS file where all the styling is saved, and we include this CSS file into our HTML document using the link tag. We will see these two types of CSS today in details. We will be taking different examples. So internal style sheet, we have seen when there is a single page in our website or you have to style for a single page. So it is better to use internal style sheet. See students, a CSS output will be same whether you use internal, external or inline. Only the thing for which condition you will use which type, that is important. The output of course is going to be same and you can use any type of CSS to get the output. But for which condition you have to use which type of CSS, that is important. So we just now saw that when there is a single page which is uniquely styled, so it is better to use internal type of CSS, right? So when you will use internal type of CSS, you have to use a style tag, and this style tag is generally placed in the head tag. The style tag is of a container type, so it has an opening tag and closing tag, and in this tag you have to write all the CSS syntax which we have earlier studied. So in the example you can see that I have used two elements to style. The first one is the body and the second one is the H1 tag. So for body I am changing the background color to linen, and for H1 tag I am changing the text color to maroon, and I am keeping a margin from left side which is 40 pixels. We have already seen this example, so I won't be going into much details. So this is what the example we have seen for the internal type of CSS. Here in the body section if you see, there is a p tag, and in that p tag what is written? White text on a white text on a black background. Now for this p element what style I am applying? So you will see into the style tag which is placed in the head tag. Since we are using a style tag, hence it is a internal type of CSS, right? So whatever text is written in p tag, its color is changed to white. You can see I have used the property of color to white. So whatever is written in the p tag, its text color will change to white, right? Now if I have changed the text color to white and my background color is also white, so nothing will be displayed, right? That is why I have to change the body background color to some other color other than the white. So what I have done, I have made the color as black. So it will appear like a blackboard. So my body part has become full black, and whatever text is written in p tag, mind well I am telling, whatever text is written in p tag, only that thing will be in white color. If I am using any other tag, then that will not be displayed because the background is also black and the text color is also black. I hope you are understanding what I am trying to say. So let us move to the next slide. So now today we will start with the inline type of style sheet. See, the inline style is useful when we need to define a specific style for an individual element present on a web page. Means whenever there is a case that there are multiple elements in a web page and there is one specific element that you have to style it in a different way. If that is the case, you will use inline type of CSS for that particular element, right? For this inline type of style sheet, you need to use the style attribute, and this style attribute is used for that particular element for which you have to give the style, right? So, and in this style attribute, see, obviously any attribute you take, we have to give some value to that attribute, agree? So now if this is a style attribute, you obviously have to give some value. So what value it will take? So this style attribute will take the value whatever is written in the declaration part. Whatever is written in the declaration part, that all is written into this style tag and enclosed in the double quotes. So in the below examples you can see I have taken two examples. For first I have taken h1 as the element. Suppose I want to style h1 element. So how I will use this inline CSS? So if I want to use inline CSS, I have to use its style attribute. So see here h1 space style, because style is the attribute, so it has to be placed in the opening tag of the element. So this is my opening tag, right? And here h1 space style equal to, and in double quotes you can see I have mentioned all the declaration part whatever we have studied up till now, right? So whatever declaration part generally you give in the curly braces of the syntax, CSS syntax, same to same you have to type that code into the style value. Only you have to enclose in double inverted comma. Why? Because there you are using special characters. So if I am using this styling, color has the value red and font family has the value Arial. So this hello world which is enclosed in h1 will be displayed with a red color. Obviously it will have h1 heading size, it will have a red color, and it will have a font as Arial. Agree? So second example is for a p tag. So if I want to style a p tag, so I can use this style attribute with p tag as well, because this style attribute can be used with any tag of the HTML. So I am using this style attribute with p tag, where again in double quotes I am giving the declaration part which I used to give earlier in the curly braces. So here what is the styling I have given? Color has the value green and text align right. So this is a paragraph. You can see this is a paragraph will be having a text color as green, and it will be aligned to the rightmost part of the web browser, right? We will see some few examples of this inline style sheet as well. So now here one very important point is that the inline CSS style will always override the style properties which are mentioned in internal or external style sheets. Okay, first look at the example, then you will understand what I am trying to say. Now in this example, first which tag I am using or which element I am trying to style? It is the h1 element, right? And now here you can see for h1 I am using a style attribute. So I am using inline CSS. Why? Because I am using a style attribute, right? And whatever property and value I have to give, I have given it in the double inverted commas and I have given that value. So it will take that styling which will be get applied to the particular h1 tag only. So what it will print? This is a blue heading. This is a blue heading will be printed in a H1 heading size, as well as it will have a text color as blue. So this is how a inline CSS is used. I hope the example is clear, so that we can move to the next point which we have just discussed earlier, overriding one. So I hope the H1 style equal to color blue, that part is the inline CSS, because we are using the style attribute. Now we will look into this overriding thing. So what exactly it means? What it is given, if you are using some inline styling for an element, then that will override whatever styling is mentioned in internal or external CSS. For that we will see example number 2. So before going to the style part, we will look the body part. In the body part, you can see there are total 3 lines to be printed. Agree? What is the first line? This is a blue heading which should have H1 size. Agree? Second line also we have to print this is a blue heading, and third line also we have to print this is a blue heading, and all these are enclosed in H1 tag. So you have got total 3 H1 tag. Agree? Now come to the style tag. In this style tag, since it is a style tag, which type of CSS it is? It is a internal CSS, right? And this internal CSS I have given, or I have used which element to style? I have used H1 element to style. Agree? So what styling I have given? That the color of the text enclosed in H1 should be in blue color. So whatever tags are there in the body which are using H1 tag should have a blue color. Agree? This is what we have studied up till now. Now again come to the body section. Now the first line is what? Simple H1. This is blue heading and H1 is closed. So this is a blue heading, which is number 1 line will be printed as it is, only it will have a color as blue. Agree? Why? Because using internal styling we have mentioned that it should have a text color as blue. Agree? Now come to the second line, and which is very important. Now here you can see I am using style attribute for this particular second H1 tag. And here I am giving it styling. Again some new settings are there. Again some new styling I have given. What styling I have given? That its color or its text color should be green. So since I am using the inline CSS, that is why I am using style attribute. And you can see this is a blue heading is no more printed in blue color. It has taken the text color as green. So what has happened? If I would not have written this style equal to color green, it should have blue color, right? Blue color. That text would have been in blue color. But since I am using inline styling or inline CSS, so what it has done? It has overridden its earlier styling and it has taken the new styling, that is color equal to green. So this is what the overriding means. Means H1 is already applied some styling in the internal CSS, but since I am using inline CSS for this particular tag, so this inline CSS will get importance. It will get the highest priority, and accordingly that styling will be applied. If this sentence was not there, style equal to color green, then the second line was also to be printed in blue color only. But what has happened? Here it has overridden the internal CSS and it has taken the styling which is mentioned in inline CSS, right? And again come to the third line. What is again H1? This is a blue heading. Now again it is a simple line where no styling is given. H1, this is a blue heading, will take again the styling which is mentioned in the style tag, that is the internal styling. So this is how the overriding property works. Means inline CSS is given more importance if there is also the same styling given for that same tag. Understood? I have another example for this, so that I hope you will understand it in a better way. So now here you can see there are 5 students. So these students, we will consider each student as our tag, right? I will consider that a single student is my H1 tag. So total in my body part, I have got total 5 heading tags, H1 tag. Agree? Now you can see that all have got the same uniform, means they have got the same styling. Why? Because I have used either internal or external CSS to style this H1 tags, which are 5 in numbers. So it is similar to the earlier example. Earlier example there were total 3 H1 tags. In this example there are total 5 H1 tags, and which has got similar styling. So they are appearing the same. Agree? So these students or this tag are having the styling which are used by the internal or external CSS. Agree? Now we will see what does the overriding means. So now in this second slide you can see that all the 5 students are not the same now. Why? Because there is one tag which has used some other styling, and that is called as a inline. Means example, suppose total there were 5 students, they were all looking similar. Why? Because they were having the same styling. But from this 5 students, one student decided to style something different, so that he will be looking different, he alone will be looking different from the rest of the students. So what he did, he have taken one jacket on his uniform. His uniform is there, but what he has done, he has added one more styling to his attire. So what is happening, he is now looking different. So for this condition you can say that he has overridden the previous styling which was given in internal or external styling. So he is looking different. So in that case you can use inline CSS. Means when you want to make a single element or few element to look different other than the remaining tags, so you can use inline styling for that particular element. Now if he removes the jacket, obviously he will again look the same. So similarly, if there is a inline CSS mentioned for any tag, if you remove that inline part, then it will take all the settings which are given from the internal or external. I hope this example is clear. So should we move to the next part? Now this is again an example. So we will see what exactly it is given. Now here you can see there is no style tag. There is no style tag used in the head tag. So now we will see exactly what it is. So come to the body part. Now from the body you can see that body is using a style attribute. Since it is a style attribute, you can definitely say that it is an inline type of CSS. Agree? And whatever styling you have to give, that all is mentioned in the double quotes, which is given as a value to the style attribute. So what it is given, background color should be light blue. So hence you can see in the right side the output has background color to the light blue. Then on the second line H1 tag is there and my first CSS example. So is there any styling for this? No. So it has simply printed whatever is its default size, that is H1 heading size, and my first CSS example is printed as it is. Now come to the next line. There is a P tag and this P tag is again using a style attribute. So again it is a inline CSS. Agree? So this example is related to inline CSS. Again I am repeating, you will get the same output whether you use internal, whether you use inline, whether you use external. Only for different conditions you have to use the different ways. So what styling is given here, that color should be red, font family should be Arial, and font size should be 50 pixels. So the P tag, whatever it is enclosed, will have all this type of styling. So you can see in the right side, this is a paragraph, is has come in red color, its font family is Arial, and its font size is 50 pixels, right? Again, example number 2. Now come to body part again. So what it is given, body space style equal to background color, and value is given as pink. So in the output below you can see the background color has become pink color. Agree? Come to the second line, h1 space style equal to color should be maroon, margin left should be 60 pixels. So for the first line, that is hello world, it has taken the two styling which are mentioned is what, its text color is maroon and it has left 60 pixels of margin from the left side. Agree? Now come to the second line. Now here you are using h1 tag, but now this h1 tag will not take any styling. Why? Because whatever styling we have given in the earlier line, it is applicable for that particular line only. So this inline will be applicable for that particular single element only. It is not reflected to the other elements. But if it would have been internal, then all h1 tag would have got the same setting, right? So but this is not the case. Here h1, that is bye bye, will be simply h1 heading, size will be printed. That's it. It won't have any styling. I hope the examples are making you understand what exactly the CSS types are and how do they work. So now we will start with the last type of CSS, that is the external style sheet. Now this external style sheet is very important and it is generally used by everyone who are into the development, means who are all the software engineers who are developing the websites. Obviously the website has got all the styling, so these people generally use this external style sheet. There are various advantages of this external style sheet. We will see what exactly it is. So an external style sheet is used to define the style for many HTML pages. Now, if your website has got multiple web pages and they have got the same styling, every page is appearing the same, means it is having the same styling. So it is better to use external style sheet so that you can style all the pages similarly. We will see what exactly I am trying. So in this external style sheet, we have to change the look of entire web page or the website by simply changing one file. How does it happen? Because this one file is that styling file. In this external type, what is there? You maintain a separate file which maintains all the styling part, and if you make changes into this single file, all the changes will be reflected into all the other HTML web pages. Now if you are using this external file and you are calling into HTML page, so there should be some way. Agree? So you have to use this link tag, and this link tag is placed in the head section, and we will see how it is called. So in the below there is a syntax given. You can see in the head tag there is a link tag, and in this link tag, what is the first attribute? It is rel. It is the relationship, means which file you are linking has got what type of relationship with your HTML page. So obviously we are maintaining a separate style sheet file, so it is a style sheet, right? The next attribute is type, and this type is taking value as text oblique CSS, means What type of file it is? See, this CSS file which you are going to create, it will be created in a notepad. So notepad is a text file, and oblique CSS means you have written the CSS into a text file. That is why you have to give the value as text oblique CSS. And lastly and very important, href. Href equal to styles.css. Now this value means the file which you are calling. So the CSS file which I am calling has got the name as styles and its extension is .css. So in the below part you can see what exactly that my CSS file contains. So my name for that file is styles.css, and in that CSS file you have to simply write the syntax of the CSS. That's it. In this CSS file there will be no HTML tags used. Only you have to mention the CSS syntax. That's it. So here again we'll see what we have just discussed. An external style sheet can be written in any text editor. So generally we use a notepad for writing the code for CSS file as well. Again very important, the CSS file will not contain any HTML code or any HTML tags into this CSS file. And this file has to be saved with a file name and .css extension. Up till now we have been creating HTML files which were having .html as the extension, but for the CSS you will be having .css as the extension, and before that obviously there will be a file name. Now this external file, which is the CSS file, we have to call using the link tag. One more hint or one more tip I would like to give: whenever you are calling any external file into your HTML document, it is better to keep the HTML files as well as the CSS file or the external files which you are calling in a same folder, so that the code will function properly without any error. So here we will see the example what exactly we are having. So first, before going to the HTML part, I would like to tell you what is the things written in the CSS file. So first what you have to do, you have to create a CSS file. Now if you have to create a CSS file, you need to open a notepad, and in notepad you will write all the styling part which we have up till now writing into the style tag. So in the below you can see there is a file called as ext.css. So this is my file and its file name is ext, and in that file I have written body, then in declaration part background color has the value light blue, and on the second line there is a p tag, and in p I have written color has to get the value red, font family as Arial, and font size as 50 pixel. So this is the same example which we have seen earlier for the inline. And same output is displayed. If you can compare, same output is displayed, only the thing, the way of using CSS is different, right? So if we are done with the ext.css, then we will see how to call this file in our code. So in the head section you can see of HTML code that there is a link tag, and this link tag is using three different attributes. First is the rel, that is the relationship, means what is the relationship between this HTML code and the CSS file. So obviously we are calling it style sheet, so that is why it will take the value as style sheet. Then next attribute is type. So which type of file you are calling? It is a text file but CSS file, that is why it is a text/CSS. And very important, href will have the actual file name with its extension. So this is how you call the external file. And in the body part you can see there are two lines h1 and p. Now in the CSS I have not given any styling for h1, so it will be simply printed as it is using the h1 font size. and this p tag will get all the styling which is mentioned in the CSS file, right? So now this ends our type of CSS. We will quickly summarize what exactly every type of CSS means. So within inline type of CSS, styles are written directly inside the tag, means you use a style attribute, and in this style attribute you pass the values whatever are given in the declaration part, agree, using the double quotes. And very important, that single tag will get that setting. If the same tag is present below but it will not have the settings or the styling as mentioned in the earlier style attribute. Why? Because it is inline, so it is applied to the single element for which it is used. Then second, internal. In internal we use style tag, and in this style tag you mention all the CSS syntax with the property value, that is the declaration, and outside the bracket there is a selector for which element you have to give the styling, and this whole styling part is placed where, in the head section. And generally this internal style sheet is used if you have got a single page to style, agree. Then lastly, external style sheet. Here there is a separate CSS file maintained which has got a name and .css extension, and this external file is called into our HTML page using the link tag. And if there are multiple web pages in your website, so if you want to change anything, so you don't need to change every page of the web page, you simply need to go to the CSS file, make the changes in your styling, and those all changes will be reflected into all your web pages. So this is how the external style sheet work, and it is widely used. So that's it for today. I hope the CSS part or the types of CSS part is clear. Thank you.